I'm going to show you how to get more battery charges in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So I got a full guide for this and even Zonite farming, some tips here and stuff for you. So in order to do this, the main takeaway is that you're going to have to go into the depths. Depths is always the way to go with this. The easiest place to go to, though, is go to Hyrule Field Skyview Tower, and then from there glide on over to this hole in the ground right here, and that will lead down to here. You can grab this light root right here, and then from there you'll head south over to here, which will do a quest where you have to fight a boss in this arena. He's not too bad, but just bring some weapons so you can actually beat him. Some decent weapons, hopefully. Then after that, you'll have this place unlocked. And over here, you can buy crystallized charge. And in order to buy crystallized charge, you're going to need zonite. I've already bought these ones, but these ones can be bought with large zonite, and that's usually the best way to do it. I actually don't like buying these because I prefer to use my zonite for auto building, which this is also how you get auto building, by the way. You'll get this tab right here, be able to automatically build things and use zonite instead of the devices. But that's a whole nother video. So anyway, let's talk about what we do here. So we get those crystallized charges, and then we take 100 of them. Once we have 100 of them, we can get 1/3 of one battery, which is not as much. It doesn't sound like much, and it's not. Then you're going to look at the map, and you're going to go up in the sky and go to the Nachuya Shrine back on the Great Sky Island, where all this began, the first place that we actually went to in this game. And over at the Great Sky Island, at the Nachuya Shrine, there will be a steward construct that you can interact with, and he is the guy that you need to take the crystallized charges to. And the main cycle in this is going to be getting crystallized charges, and then coming back to this guy over here, and then turning in those crystallized charges in order to get more battery. So now I'm going to talk to this guy, and if you have 100 crystallized charges, you can say get producing, and he'll tell you how many you have and if you have enough. And you say get producing, and it'll play this little cutscene. It'll use up 100 crystallized charges, and then he'll give you 1/3 of one battery pack. And that is all you can get at a time. It actually takes a tremendous amount of time to get the full battery pack. So that'll give you an energy well, is what it's called. Another energy cell there. Now I've got 9 instead of the default 3. On my way to getting the maximum, which is 8 times 3. So then we're done there. So now it's about how do we farm the zionite or whatever, zonite. And there's a few different ways to do it. There's a bunch of different places to farm it. And I've got some really, really good tips for this. I'm going to make a full zonite farming guide at some point in the next few days, probably. But the main thing is, and the main takeaway is, that the zonite is mined, and the nodes that you mine respawn randomly over time. And on average, they'll respawn every hour to 2 hours. So basically, you'll get a farming route figured out, and you'll just go do it every 2 hours, and you'll be able to get everything. So the first one I always recommend that's really good is at the Korodot light route right here, which is right next to that great abandoned central mine you have to go to for the first part of this guide. Now we're going to go here, which is really close by. And from here, and I've mined it recently, so it's not going to have everything, but I'll show you where everything is regardless. You'll go down here, and there will be this with some enemies here. And I don't know why the enemies don't respawn for me anymore, but for you, there'll be enemies. And there'll be a bunch of these nodes, and you'll break them all, and you'll take the zonite that falls from it. And sometimes from this, you'll get large zonite as well, which is what we really, really want for these energy well upgrades. Then you're going to fly over here to the southwest and drop under this bridge. And then you're going to head over to here. And I've already mined them recently. I mined them just like 10 minutes ago. But there's 2 nodes right here. And then you're going to go over here and go over to this. And there's like 2 or 3 nodes over here that you can mine. And then you're going to drop down here. And there's like another 3 nodes down here to mine. And there's a one-time shot of them right here by blowing up a bunch of rocks if you want to do that as well. Then once you've gotten those, depending on what light routes you want to get, you can go over here. And I have all these marked right now. Every one of these little marks is one of the camps. So you can go right here and go to these camps and fight the enemies and mine more. Go there, fight enemies, mine more. Go there, fight enemies, mine more. You can do the same thing over these ones. And you really want to stay in this region as much as you can, because once you get further away from this region, the enemies start getting way stronger. So like once you get over to here, especially over here, the enemies have so much HP that even with a 50 damage weapon, you got to hit them like 10 times to kill them and stuff. Like they're super strong. And for the same amount of zonite. So that's why it's better just to stick to these. You can just go to the ones that I have the crystals marked on the map. Just, look at this map. You could screenshot it, whatever, and just go to each of those. You could go here and go to these 3. You could go here and run to those 3. Go here and go to those 2. And then go here and get that one, and then those ones, and then go here and get those ones. and then you would just go back to playing normally and come back in 2 hours if you really wanted to farm it fast. Another place if you want to get it is you can go to this light route right here, and there's a canyon mine down here, and there's a ton of nodes that just spawn all throughout this little area right here, and you could do that as well. There's even a hole in the ground right here. You can easily access it from the Rebella Wetland Skyview Tower, and you can go straight down to this one and then have access to the Rosudo Canyon mine where you can get a ton of zonite. But I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I'm working on a crystallized farming route right now, crystallized charge farming route. It turns out there's also another great way to farm them. You see off in the distance that, well, that is a flux construct. You can actually find flux constructs underground, and I'm still mapping out all the spawns for them. Once I do, I'm going to make a full guide for the fastest way to get the crystallized charges. But they are hands down the fastest way to get crystallized charges because they're a consistent spawn that you can use to get them. For some reason, the ones underground, they drop 20 crystallized charge every time you kill them. So if you can kill them fast enough, they respawn every 2 hours just like everything else. And if you know where enough of them are, you can get a bunch of crystallized charge and get your energy cells way faster. So this one right here, for example, is by the Corrirus light route. And this is the weakest one I found. This is just a flux construct 1. And so what you can do in order to get to them easily is with auto build. You can build this thing one time and then favorite it. And it's just a sled with a rocket on it. And you just put it down. It's only 6 zonite in order to spawn it. And then you can hit it. And it'll fly you up and get you some height. So that way you can glide over to him. In this case, I'll have to do this twice probably in order to get to him. But then I can just do that and glide over to a flux construct. And he'll have 20 crystallized charge for me. And that was pretty straightforward. And you'll see that he drops a large crystallized charge, which is 20 crystallized charges all at once. Every single flux construct down here drops it, and that's a secret to getting it. So if you want to map those out, there's one here. There's one over here. There's a flux construct 3, and there's a flux construct 2 right here. And those are the main ones that I know of right now that are easy to get to. But I'll be making a guide for farming crystallized charge in the future. And I'll be showing where all those are if I can find them all eventually when I have time to actually explore the depths, which takes forever. It'll probably take me another 8 hours to explore all the depths, even with just burning through my zonite to use rockets and gliders and everything. It's crazy. Once you're all done farming for the day, or once you've gotten as many as you want, you'll come back to the Great Abandoned Central Mine and you'll buy them. This one, I don't know how often it restocks these things. I want to say every 20 minutes or something. It seems more often than normal enemy respawns, but at the latest, you can check it every, like hour or something and see, but I think it responds for every 20-30 minutes or something. But don't quote me on that. I've never actually tested. I just come back whenever and buy more stuff. But yeah, so there you guys go. If you have any questions about how to get more batteries, well, I know this guide will help you out. This is pretty extensive. This is like the main ways to do it, guys. This is like the primary way to do it in this game. Even then, it takes a while. But, it's something you should start on sooner rather than later. Because no matter what you do, you really got to wait on those respawns that take like an hour. So if you start later, you'll literally just have to wait to get it done. You can't just grind it straight through. Like, you can, but you can't. It's kind of complicated. But anyway, hopefully this guide helped you out, guys. And now you know how to get more batteries in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.